So I talked about the Heat, I don't know, like 2 weeks ago or something, talking about Justice and if playing with Jimmy is actually going to help him or not. Focusing on the whole team for this one, if they can make the playoffs. Won 39 games, added Jimmy Butler, drafted Tyler Hero, who could actually be like a day one impact kind of a rookie with his shooting. Especially because there's still uncertainty. Like, do we know if Dion's going to be healthy? Do we know if Dion's even going to be good? Don't know. And whatever else. So, the first thing to look at is this team's defensive potential. I'd say it's pretty damn high. I mean, Spoelstra has had them towards the top of the league defensively and like every year the past like 5 seasons. And the personnel is there. I mean, between Jimmy and Bam and Winslow and Olynyk isn't bad, and Derek Jones and James Johnson, just a lot of dudes who know how to defend, and Spoelstra is just going to have them playing a little above themselves defensively. I mean, you just look at the rosters that he consistently had in the top 10 in defense. They never had a great defensive player. They just had a group of good ones with a great defensive coach. So I'm expecting the same thing again this season. But the thing that has plagued Miami for years now is their offense, right? Towards the bottom half of the league, sometimes even the bottom third of the league throughout the last whatever years. So Jimmy is the best offensive player they've had in a minute. And he'll actually give them a guy to draw contact, shoot free throws, have isolation plays, and play pick and rolls and all that stuff. Because, you know, with Miami, their offenses had to be really formulaic, a lot of cuts and off-ball screens and all that, because they just didn't have the talent to just give it to a guy and let him go to work. So that should propel their offense at least a little bit right there. I mean, Spoelstra's going to have Jimmy in situations where he's moving off the ball and he's got a seam to the basket, or it's a mismatch, or, you know, the spacing's always going to be pretty good, especially because Whiteside's not here anymore. Even with Bam at center, I'm assuming Bam starts at center, because I just think Bam's kind of smart, whether it's like being able to dribble or the fact that I think he has a desire to make jump shots. He had a little bit of a pulse from mid-range last season. Jury's still out on that one, but I just don't think Bam kills your spacing the way the Whiteside did, right? Part of it's just simply motivation, like actually giving a crap when you set a screen and things like that. But, you know, there's that. There's Jimmy getting screens from Olynyk. I do think Jimmy's in a position to score, I don't know, 21, 22 points a game or something. But of course, there are other players here, so the thing I look at that's interesting with this Miami team is the shooting, because they don't have a dude who is going to take like 10 threes a game, right? There's no Damian Lillard, Kemba Walker, Steph Curry, Kyrie. They don't have that dude. The closest thing to it in terms of a dude who's just going to chuck three-pointers like that, well, they have two. It's Dragic and Dion, but again, there's a lot of uncertainty with Dion if he can get through a whole season and if he's actually going to be good. And in the case of Dragic, I mean, Dragic is cool. He's probably going to put up like 16 and 5 and shoot about 4 threes a game, and, you know, he'll be good. Maybe even very good, but he's not going to scare the crap out of defenses. I mean, you look at the teams that are routinely in the top 10 in offense, they either have one of those dudes, the guy who just terrifies a defense the moment he has like a screen, or it's like Joel Embiid or Giannis. Or it's the Spurs, but they don't count. So, I don't know. It's going to be tricky for Miami to like really get up there offensively. I mean, do I think the shooting collectively is terrible? No. I mean, Dragic can make open threes, Olynyk can, Jimmy can. Justice might be able to. He definitely had his best shooting season recently, but I don't think that's enough for us to just be like, okay, well, he's overcome his shooting problems. Myers Leonard is also here for whatever that's worth. And then you have like Tyler Hero and Dion, and you're hoping those dudes can make shots. So I don't know. The shooting might be there, or they roll the team out there and suddenly it's like, oh, wait a minute, the spacing's looking a little rough. Teams are daring guys to shoot, and the actual thing looks a little worse than what it might be on paper. I don't know. We'll have to see on that one. But I guess that could be the thing that holds this team back. Now, I mentioned Justice before, and I did the whole damn video about the guy at point guard, so I don't want to just do all that again, but I just want to see what happens. Like, is he still going to get point guard opportunities, or is he just going to be a wing all the time? Because I think at point guard we really saw him just be a different dude, so I'm sure Spoelstra has some sort of a plan for that. Okay, so projecting where Miami finishes in the NBA defense-offense thing, I would say defensively they can probably finish like 6th or 7th. Offensively, I think a goal would be like 15th. And I would like to think the combination of those two things would put you probably around 45, 46 wins. I mean, they basically had that in 2017, which was the crazy team that won like a million games in the second half of the season. But, they finished 41 wins the year before that. Pretty similar output, and that team won 48 games. They got to round 2. So I guess, the middle of that, solid 45 wins, safe to say that gets you into the postseason, right? So I guess that would mean I probably think that Miami's knocking out, like, the Pistons out of the playoffs, which I feel pretty comfortable with that. Like, the Pistons won 41 games, and, they added Derrick Rose, and I think there's room for Luke Kennard to get a little better, but I still don't think that roster's that good. Like, I really think it's Blake Griffin, and you just see what you got after that, so I do feel a little safer about Miami. Because the thing is, like, at least with Miami, I know they're going to be good defensively, and I know they're going to be a little better on offense. And when I put that with Spoelstra, I feel a lot more comfortable with that than I do the Pistons with Dwayne Casey. So there we go. I think Miami is in the playoffs, and shout out to Alonzo Mourning.